What's wrong with this picture? Have you ever taken an online quiz or looking at a magazine that has, often for children, they'll have that, where it'll be a picture and it'll ask, what's wrong with this picture? Sometimes it will be some anachronism. It's a picture from the past, but it has an object from the present that would not have existed back then. Sometimes it's an animal with too many legs, for example, or the shadows are being cast in a certain direction. But there's one object where the shadow's in the wrong direction. They're kind of fun exercises. I remember them as a little kid. And if you can just study the picture, looking for what's wrong with it, it is a good test to prove, what do I know should be the case? Does that make sense? Well, again, think about paintings, pictures you have seen of the second coming of Jesus Christ. What's wrong with that picture, if there's anything wrong with it? If you're like me, perhaps you're picturing the picture of Harry Anderson. He was a Seventh-day Adventist master artist, and the church loved the artwork of Harry Anderson. So the Latter-day Saints talked to this wonderful Seventh-day Adventist and said, will you paint a painting of the second coming? And there's Jesus descending with angel hosts, heavenly hosts flanking him on either side. Trumpet blasts, there's the desert soil beneath him ready to blossom as the rose. Beautiful painting. Well, when Harry Anderson first painted it, from a Seventh-day Adventist perspective, the Latter-day Saints that were going to purchase it from him said, whoa, what's wrong with this picture? All those angels have wings. And Harry Anderson's like, well, duh, yeah, how else was I supposed to paint them? Well, Latter-day Saints, we don't believe that they had wings. I mean, yes, there are cherubim and seraphim and things like that, but angels are resurrected human beings. We don't have wings, and neither do they. Oh, well, how'll this work already? Well, he was very wise and creative, and he just kind of rubbed out the wings and made them flowing robes. Look at the painting again, and you'll see, those were wings once. He clipped them for doctrinal reasons. But if he fixed that error, there was another one that remained and remains unfixed. And that has to do with the color palette. What color is Jesus wearing in that painting? White, just like the angels. That seems fitting. At least it was to Harry Anderson and to whoever from the church accepted the final masterpiece. And yet, what do we know about what Christ will wear? And therefore, what's wrong with that picture? There are hints of this in Isaiah, but I love the way it's described in section 133. We're going to start in verse 46, but to get there, you kind of need to read the 20 verses that precede it, because it puts it all in a second coming context. End of the world, millennial reign is about to begin, but Jesus is descending. And what will he look like? Verse 46. It shall be said, who is this? So we're wondering, what is going on? Who is this person that cometh down from God in heaven with dyed garments? Yea, from the regions which are not known, clothed in his glorious apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. There's something about his clothing that strikes us, that perhaps confuses us, that leaves us guessing and wondering, who is this? And why garments, clothing, apparel that is dyed in some glorious, some like eye-catching, eye-popping kind of way? The Lord's answer, he shall say, I am he who spake in righteousness, mighty to save. And the I am he could even be shortened, who's this that comes? Well, let me tell you, I am. The same Jehovah who appeared to Moses at the burning bush. The same I am he that walked on the water. The same who said before Abraham was, I am. The great I am is coming and reintroducing himself to people who knew and recognized him or rejected and did not recognize him. And one of the things that he'll be recognized by is the color of his clothing. This verse goes on, the Lord shall be red in his apparel, and his garments like him that treadeth in the wine-vat. And his voice shall be heard, I have trodden the winepress alone, and have brought judgment upon all people, and none were with me. I have trampled them in my fury. I did tread upon them in mine anger. Their blood have I sprinkled upon my garments and stained all my raiment, for this was the day of vengeance which was in my heart. Now, don't stop there, but pause there for a moment. Robes of reminding red is what Elder Maxwell called them. And what's the red to remind us of? Do you remember in the book of Revelation when it gives this bird's eye view of Gethsemane? And symbolically, it describes, well, literally and symbolically, there's an interesting combination in Revelation 14, where this solitary figure is trotting the winepress alone. He has trampled out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored, as we sing in Battle Hymn of the Republic. It's the grapes of wrath. And we saw in this passage in 133 words like fury and anger and vengeance. But if you think about what is coming from the winepress, you would expect grape juice. And as any person who's done laundry can tell you, grape juice stains. And yet in this case for Jesus, it's not purple grape juice, it is red blood. And in that bird's eye view, it describes blood flowing from the winepress to the radius of 200 furlongs and to the depth of the horse bridles. I've talked about this before when we studied the book of Revelation, but if you were to draw on the map what John is seeing symbolically, you would see a pool of precious blood that covers all of Israel, which is exactly what the atonement of Jesus Christ does. It covers all of Israel. Enough to immerse ourselves in that, to change our raiment. But that's the irony. Our blood stains his raiment. Thus he's wearing red. But his blood cleanses ours. So Harry Anderson was right to paint the coming angels in white. But those white robes for us came at the expense of a red robe for Jesus. He swapped clothing with us. This is substitutionary atonement. This is, I'll take your place on the cross, Barabbas. I'll take your place in the tomb, Joseph of Arimathea. I'll take the dirt from your feet as I wash them and put them on the clothing, the towel that I am wearing. I will bear your scars, even in my resurrected body. I will wear your stains. And to be reminded by that, those robes of reminding red. Red is the color of anger. When we talk about seeing red, it's like these blood vessels are ready to pop in our eyes. And yes, you get those hints of words like anger and wrath and fury, vengeance. But notice what he says next. Because it's not just red of anger, it's red of blood, and that blood was shed in love. So look at 133, verse 52 and 53. And never stop with 51. Make sure you read the better news. And now the year of my redeemed is come. My redeemed, that's what I died for. That's who I suffered for. My redeemed. And their year, it's their time. They shall mention the loving kindness of their Lord and all that he has bestowed upon them, according to his goodness, according to his loving kindness, forever and ever. In all their afflictions, he was afflicted. It's our blood on those garments. And the angel of his presence saved them, just like an angel was sent by the Father to strengthen Christ in Gethsemane. In his love and in his pity, he redeemed them and bore them and carried them all the days of old. Those are maternal metaphors, like Isaiah preferred to use. Bearing and carrying, that's what a mother does. It's a mother hen gathering us under her wings for protection. One who's willing to face the outside consequences and keep us protected within. Don't be overwhelmed by the justice alone that verse 51 seems to suggest, with words like anger. Let it melt into the motivation behind Christ's atonement, and you will see nothing but loving kindness, nothing but goodness, one who is willing to be afflicted in all of our afflictions. That is perfect empathy. That is a willingness to trade places and let us wear his robes of righteousness while he wears our robes of red. Years ago, I had a student. This was before Photoshop really made changing pictures easy. I don't know how they did it, but somehow they took Harry Anderson's painting and corrected it to show Jesus in his red robes as one having trodden the winepress alone. They gave it to me as a gift, and I was honestly haunted by it. It felt so sacred, almost like Harry Anderson did us a favor by softening our recollection of what it cost Christ to redeem us from our sins. Let's just blur it out. Let's wash the clothing. No. This is what the clothing will look like once the sin has passed from us to him. But to see that and be reminded of Christ's red, glorious apparel. He trod the winepress alone, so he wouldn't have to be alone in heaven. He wants us all to come home to be with him.